Hey gang, Roland here. As you can see in this game, I am playing the Tier 10 US Destroyer Gearing. It's a favorite of mine. You may have seen me playing this ship before. This was a really fun game to play, so I wanted to share it with you. And also, I want to give props to the opposing player that played the Holland on the other team, right on target, who is a regular viewer of our channel here. He played a really solid game. It was a close game. And it was a very fun game. So, without further ado, here we go. Now you can see right away, no caps to contend, but we've got these little buff zones that if we get inside of them, we can pick up buffs. Is your eye drawn to that as well? Yeah. I imagine it's probably some famous quote, right? So without a cap to contend over, I want to see if I can't make the experience of picking up this buff zone unpleasant for the bad guys if we are unable to pick it up ourselves. Well, there's our Schlieffen's interpretation of that original comment. Okay, we got Thunderer, Napoli down there. Now, as I mentioned, the Holland player on the other team, he definitely knows what he's doing. They've also got a Sherman, and they've got a Blau and a U-2501, so I can be pretty easily outspotted. I have a very small detection advantage over Holland in the gearing, not by much, but Blau and U-2501, if either of them pokes their head up out of the water, well, I'm going to start taking fire from anything and everything that can see me. So I have to assume, as the Napoli is just briefly detected there, I don't really feel the need to keep him lit up. I just want my team to know where he is. So you can see on the minimap, we've got Zhao and Schlieffen and a Belau and myself here. I have to assume, well, you can see now the Belau on the minimap, that they've got 3 or 4 ships as well. So I want to not play overly aggressive here. I'm expecting torpedoes to come running through this zone. There's the Sherman. You can hear that the torpedoes are on the way. Now I want to get out of Sherman's hydro range. What I want to avoid is him being able to smoke up and still see me with his hydro. So I'm going to fall back, and I'm okay with that. Now, almost certainly, if I throw torpedoes at the Sherman, his hydro is going to pick it up, and he's probably popped his hydro, expecting me to throw the torpedoes. So I'm going to hang on to him for a minute, just see what everybody does. Now, I don't have to worry too much about torpedoes from the Sherman. His torpedo angles are, I think, the worst in the game. And, oh, look, he's detected. Thank you, sub. I'm going to go ahead and get some guns on him. You can see I've thrown it in reverse. And I'm detected, so I've got to do what I can to try and finish him off. I know there are torpedoes out there. Okay, we get some help. And Sherman is gone. Now, Sherman is no joke. I've lost half my HP. And there's the Belau out here, obviously keeping me spotted. Saw the torpedoes headed for, presumably for Zhao. And I don't want to stick around here. Now, I don't have a heal. I don't have any way to, pick up more HP. And I threw those anticipating that Napoli would be heading out that way. With 16.5 kilometers of range on the torpedoes, sometimes you can just throw them out there and hope for the best. Now I'm going to have to head south again. Our Zhao should be safe from torpedoes from the Belau. I'm not really ready to take on the Belau myself at this point. Both teams down a destroyer. My team lost the Z-42 and the bad guys lost the Fortis Sherman that you saw. Their Kurfürst takes out our Montana. And just like that, The red team has a 40-point advantage. Palau sinks their Napoli, and now we have a 60-point advantage. It's World of Warships is just that kind of game. My torpedoes might have got him, but I'm actually glad Palau finished him off first, because sooner the better. Looking at where Thunderer is going to go. I imagine he's going to turn back out. So I'm going to try and get torpedoes out ahead of his traverse. And maybe I'll throw some more kind of behind if he slows down, turns, angles, whatever. And I'm going to head for this buff zone. Which will be ready here very soon. So the Palau is probably directly behind me. You can see I'm pinging on the minimap. Our Zhao is heading that way. And maybe I should, at this point, turn around and go back that way. I was kind of hoping Palau would, honestly. Their Goliath takes out our U-2501 with depth charges. This torpedoes, no way that's going to help on the Thunderer. But didn't really matter. Schlieffen, Kremlin, Republic, they finished him off. I've got 9 seconds. I'll have the buff. Then I need to go try and help with Palau, I think. Because our Palau, well, am I going to go? I'm going to get these out here against this Kur first in the hope that maybe I can land something. And those out there. Now, I'm probably not going to get over here in time. I imagine the Zhao is going to finish him off, but just in case, I'll move this way just a bit. Palau's gone. I'm going to turn back around. And midway aircraft are here. Not going to really do much with this AA, even with the defensive fire. And yes, I take defensive fire rather than speed boost. Is it going to help often? No. But if it helps me every now and then, I'll call that good. Doesn't look like anything is liable to connect here, but that's all right. Need to head back toward that cap. Can't expect our Nevsky to push in there. And Republic, he's kiting away. I've got Schlieffen south of my position, followed closely by Kremlin. And it looks like the battle lines are going to be drawn here. And I'll just do what I can to help against the aircraft. And I'm going to reposition here to be able to get my torpedoes to cross rather than going straight. I'm going to give our Nevsky some smoke. I don't know whether he's going to use it or not, but it's there for him. Because he's one big battleship shot away from being sunk. And the CV is bringing aircraft over this direction. So Nevsky, I really encourage you to think about getting in that smoke. Okay, one set. Try and make them count. CV seemed like he was interested in finishing off our Republic. Montana takes out our Schlieffen. Yikes. Okay, it's both teams now down 4 ships. And our Kremlin is, well, he's stopped, fortunately. Our Palau, he's in close. If he can land some torps, he did. It looked to me like the Palau landed his torps and then mine followed it up to finish off that Montana. So thank you for the assist there, Palau, and well done. And am I going to land one on the Kur first? Our sub takes out the Nevsky. I do land one. I don't get a flood, however. And I need to get out here because I expect the sub that the Nevsky was contending with to be headed this direction. Kremlin finishes off their midway, and at this point we have a one-ship advantage. We've got 7, they've got 6, but our Nevsky, our Belau, and our Republic all really banged up. And I'm hoping Belau is going to get an opportunity to get torps on that Kur first, but you can see he's north of an island there in the Alpha Cap. Alpha Cap, excuse me, easy for me to say. And Belau is having to deal with Moskva and Holland that are down south. Midway finishes off the Kur first with rockets. Nicely done. That's kill number 2 for our Midway. And at this point, yeah, you could certainly make an argument that I need to be heading into the cap. But I think if I leave this sub out here, our Republic is toast. He's bound to submerge, and I'm going to have to just run right over him and hope that I don't get a shotgun blast of torpedoes at point-blank range.
Torpedoes, direct front.
There they are. I think maybe he threw those for the Republic, but they should be visible now. Republic can angle. Not sure what the range is on those torpedoes. And I'm going to try and guess which direction he went. I do land some torpedoes that I dropped there. Come on, Republic. Don't just sit there and eat all those torps. Okay, you can see this oil slick there on the water. And it looks like I've got continuing damage. So I think this sub is in trouble. He is.
Enemy submarine destroyed.
And Yamato is changing his speed, so will my torpedoes hit? Probably not. And I need to get back toward the cap, but we have a decided advantage. Republic down to 27,000 damage. 29, okay, so he's healing up. So he should be fine. I think he probably should have turned in or turned out, but just continuing to run broadside didn't seem to make much sense to me. Now I'm a long way from this cap. And I'm going to try to get back down here, but I don't want to put myself in a position where I get spotted by Yamato, because if he trains those guns on me, now granted the traverse on the guns is really slow, etc., etc. But if I get detected, he's going to know to angle against me. And what I want to do is I just want to be close enough for my torpedoes to be able to not have a whole lot of time between when I toss them in the water and when they hit the target. Now he's trying to make it look like he's stopping, and I want to see what he's really doing. So torps are up. I'm going to wait a second. I think he's just juking. Yeah, he is. So I'm going to throw him out ahead of him. You can see I'm nice and close. And sometimes that 2 or 3 seconds makes a big difference. So we lose the Belau and the Zhao, and we now have 4 ships. They've got 3. This Yamato, he's in big trouble. I'm going to stay reasonably close, hopefully out of secondary range. But if the torps don't finish him, I'll get the guns going. I know I'm going to hit him with at least a couple here, right? Okay, 5, 6 torpedoes. Got to finish him off here. That should do it. All right, that's kill number 3. Sitting at just over 141,000 damage. We've got our Kremlin in the cap, and there's right on target saying hello. Hello, right on target. And now, at this point, we've got Kremlin in the cap. I imagine right on target is probably heading that way. That's the indicator is telling me that there is something out that way, which I presume is Goliath. And this one will, I think, soon be in the history books. Kremlin's a pretty tough nut to crack. But right on target, as I mentioned earlier, he does know what he's doing in the Holland. So while this was playing out, I was not counting anything as done. And our Republic, well, I think he just decided he's not going to get close. Okay, we can see the Holland and the Goliath. I have a feeling our Kremlin is going to paste the Goliath. And he did. Now, Goliath, I think the Goliath decided he wanted to get torpedoes out. That is nuts. But I think that's probably what was happening there. So, you know, we'll keep our eyes open here and see whether we have any torpedoes coming in at the Kremlin. But showing broadside to Kremlin at point blank range. Oof. Oh, they're like range 4. Call it what you want. And there's our hero, right on target, right there. Lost his engine. Gonna pick up that buff. And I'm guessing his torpedoes are probably back up. So I'm hoping Kremlin's not going to go rushing around that corner. I'm going to slow down here as I get a little closer. Because I imagine those torps are already on the way. And this is really going to be about it. We do manage to finish off right on target. You can see I'm pointing out that the torps are probably on the way. I hope you enjoyed this. It was a really fun one to play. Right on target, you played a great game. Thanks, everybody. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.